Everyone, welcome to another edition of the Bolt City podcast, a special edition for us as we're actually recapping a little bit of the first round of the NFL draft and especially what the Chargers did. Again, I'm Dave Palais, Josh Palais, Mario Herron. And guys, you were part of the Odyssey draft day coverage. So you guys are standing by waiting for the Chargers either to make a move. So you're there from the very beginning. And at the same time, I know you guys are curious about what other teams are going to do, but let's start with the Chargers. The Chargers decided to go receiver. I think in the end, all of us said receiver was the pick, the way to go. As far as the guy they chose, Josh, we'll start with you. Are you happy with the Chargers pick?
I think I'm like every other Charger fan. I'm happy they chose a receiver. He is not the receiver I would have chosen. When the first thing you hear of is not a good route runner, it alarms you because nowadays everybody's a route runner, right? You have these smaller type receivers. Things have transitioned to more of a smaller receiver, and he's the old school guy. He's the AJ Green, Julio Jones type of guy, really tall, that's going to go up and get the ball. And I don't hate that because we already have one of those guys in Mike Williams. And we know when we're in a situation where we need down and distance down the field, we're going to throw it up to Mike Williams, and we're going to be in a good spot. Quentin Johnston, he's a great player, but I don't know if he's the player I would have chosen. I thought Zay Flowers would have been a great pick. Jordan Addison would be a great pick. I was shocked that every receiver except for Jackson Smith and Jigba, I said his name right, was on the board, and every tight end was still out there. So I don't know. They saw something I didn't. I didn't think he was going to be the pick. I don't think anybody thought he was going to be the pick. Charger fans were surprised, but they did need a receiver, and receiver was the biggest need going into this draft.
The receiver's biggest need, that's all we wanted was receiver. I was big on getting a receiver. I didn't want a corner. That was my worst nightmare. Yeah, I know we were supposed to stay positive on the Odyssey draft show, but if they would have drafted a corner, that would have been a hard one to stay positive on. They did get the receiver. I agree with you, Josh. I don't know if it was the right receiver. I personally would have, I've said it multiple times, wanted Jordan Addison, would have wanted Zay Flowers. Look, Johnston was 5th ranked receiver from the Beast, from the Athletic, which is not the best sign when you take the 5th best guy and he's the second best receiver. I mean, he's the second receiver off the board. It's not really a good feeling. And then the other thing that's a weakness of his is catching the ball. He had 8 drops this past year. That doesn't that's usually when someone has, the first person I thought of was Fuller out of Notre Dame when they said he has problems dropping the ball. I remember him playing for the Texans and going, just leave him open. The guy's going to freaking drop it. So that's not a thing that usually just goes away when you go in the NFL. That usually gets heightened. So that's a big worry for me with him is can your hands stay sticky? Can you hang on to the football? But at the same time, when you look at the size of him, I was like, yeah, it makes sense why Tommy Boy picked him. Look at the size of this guy. Keenan Allen, 6'2", 211 pounds. Mike Williams, 6'4", 220 pounds. They saw Quentin Johnston at 6'3", 216 pounds and said, that's all the homework we need to do here, boys. We're going to take him. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be a bust or anything. Like, I think he could be a really, really great player. Like, he could. He has explosive plays that we've seen in the playoffs last year against Michigan when he caught the ball from behind the scrimmage and then turned into a 76-yard touchdown. And Dave rolls his eyes because it was against a Big Ten team, but still a really impressive play. But when it comes to other receivers that could have been picked, I probably would have preferred them. But, hey, beggars can't be choosers. We got a receiver and can't complain about that.
You aren't a beggar. That's the whole thing. It's called the first round. There's no beggars. What's his position again? Did you say receiver? And he drops the ball?
That's a weakness.
It's in the title of his goddamn job description. Guess what? If you're a welder, you're supposed to be able to weld. If you're an electrician, you're supposed to be an electrician. You're a receiver. Don't drop the damn ball. He played in a crappy conference. Anything he did offensively doesn't mean jack squat to me. Josh brought this up on your draft day show as the best point. You could have traded back and got this guy. Guess what? The 2 guys that were taken after him, all right, are the 2 guys you guys keep mentioning. I would have liked to have this guy. Guess what? Those guys were available. Addison was available. Flowers were available. Okay, so you sit there and you go, and son of a bitch, went all the way through. You're sitting there going, you're going, the Vikings never screw up these drafts. And guess what? They drafted Jordan Addison, the guy in the backyard of the Chargers, literally like 5 miles from where the Chargers play their home games. Look, I understand he's a young man, all right? And I hate to sit there and rip somebody who hasn't had a chance to kind of start his pro future. But, man, this is the first round. You can't afford to miss. And I'm not saying the Chargers missed because, look, I'm going to point the finger at myself. I wasn't high on the Justin Herbert deal at the time, and now I'm willing to tell you is one of the top quarterbacks in the league. I missed. I hope I missed on this one too, because the Chargers definitely need Quentin Johnston to play well. He didn't play against quality competition in college, and the fact that he drops the ball is a huge negative. The fact he's not a good route runner, there's a reason why he's not a good route runner, because he doesn't have to be when he went to TCU. He was able to get away with his athletic ability. Am I wrong? I mean, you play the position. If you're in a conference where, guess what, it's the Big Ten or it's the SEC, and you're going against cornerbacks that are going to be NFL players too, then you better sit there and hone your skills and be polished to be a great route runner. And guess what? He just didn't have to be. He's just that guy. And so this is different. This is the NFL. And the interesting thing, he's going back to play his home games in the stadium where he got his ass kicked against Georgia. The best thing about walking out at SoFi Stadium for Quentin Johnston is he's going to go, man, this seems familiar. I'm going to walk over here on this part of the field where the white outline of my body is still on the field. He got his ass kicked. There's nothing about this guy that I want on the Chargers right now. And I'm so disappointed that either they didn't take Flowers, Addison, or even Jalen Hyatt, the guy that I was kind of rooting for. It doesn't matter. The deal is you guys said the ones you both wanted, and they're both taken immediately after he was. The other teams had to be sitting there jumping up and down going, oh my gosh, the guys we want are available, and we didn't even have to trade up. Chargers could have traded back. Josh is 100% right. You could have ended up with probably 2 second-round picks and been set. But okay, hopefully this thing works out. But as of today, one day after the first round, man, I'm not happy at all.
No, you're not happy. And you're right. They could have got 2 second-round picks and could have got Quentin Johnston in the second round because his projection was first or second round. Yeah, you could have got your guy, the guy that they want in the second round. We're going to go through his weaknesses and his combine profile because it's very, very interesting. His NFL comparisons, Alshon Jeffrey, which is fine. But Alshon Jeffrey was never a superstar receiver. So he was always a very good receiver. He was never a superstar receiver. He also played on some terrible Bears teams that really hurt his career. But Quentin Johnston only grabbed 6 touchdowns last year, the 32 that Max Duggan threw. That's kind of alarming. If you're the top receiver in a bad conference, you would expect a guy that's that good to have more than 6 touchdowns.
Every team scores 80 points in those games. How's he get 6? Jalen Hyatt had 5 against Alabama. All right, Jalen had 5 against Alabama. I'm going to stop.
That's a great point. No, you're good. That's true.
He's still
his strengths, almost every strength he has to do something with his size. Desired blend of size, length, and speed. Long strides. Separation speed allows him to get across the hashes. Shows athleticism once the ball's released. Okay, that's his strengths. Weaknesses are very, very alarming. Production was erratic. Struggles to create leverage. Grabbed just 6 touchdowns. Doesn't meet throws with desired arm extension. So that's the one I want to talk about right there. So you're telling me you're going to get a big receiver that's going to go up and get the ball, but doesn't extend his arms? So what type of receiver are you talking about? Yeah, you're going to get a guy with alligator arms when he's 6'3"? Is that a paradox? Why would you get a guy that's a tall player but doesn't extend to get the ball? What are we getting here? You could have traded back and got him in the second round, like I just said. Brian Branch was a guy that I would have taken over this guy, to be honest. I watched him at every game at Alabama. He's a freak. Quentin Johnston wasn't a guy you really heard of until the playoffs. So I don't know what the Chargers doing here. The Chargers did a better job than the Lions. The Lions drafted 2 second-round players in the first round. At least the Chargers didn't do that. So, I mean, I'm just trying to think of the positives here, but I think the Chargers were definitely part of the conversation when people say that the first round was surprising. This was a surprising pick.
And comparing yourself to the Lions always hurts because it's like, yeah, you always sound better and look better, but that's like, be like, yeah, I'm fast compared to the slowest kid in my class. It's like, yeah, good. I hope so. It's like, congratulations. So like, what are you gonna do? I'll stand up for Quinn a little bit. He can. In that receiver room, Mike Williams and Keenan Allen can help him do such things as like meeting the ball a little bit earlier, can work on his route running. Like that could help. Like there's leadership in the receiver room where like that could help him. So I'll stay on that positive. His 40 was a little bit slow for receivers, but in a game he does look faster than his 40. Maybe that's just game time speed. We obviously know there's a different speed between a 40 and being out there on the field. It's 2 different speeds. That just kind of happens. The touchdowns is concerning because it's like, how do you not get in the end zone more, especially in that conference that they dominated, by the way, that they absolutely dominated besides blowing in the conference championship game. So that's a little concerning. But here's the thing where I'll say that is really good about him. He was second in the FBS in yards after catch with 8.9 yards after catch. Chargers receivers averaged 4.19 yards after catch last year. So he's going to be a big help with that. And that's huge because, well, we didn't have anything like that. They caught the ball and then went down. And it was like, congratulations. Here's another bandy screen. Awesome. I think the other thing that they liked a lot was that he was unselfish, which is great, because he's going to be splitting balls with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. He's not going to get the ball a lot. But at the same time, it's like, I would like a guy that had a little bit more of an it factor walking into that locker room, in that receiver room, just for the matter of fact, is like Keenan Allen's probably a trade piece after this year. Like he is a trade piece. Like he's another year older. Him and Mac, that's just the reality of the situation. They're expensive and they're old. So I don't know. I know Dave's going off on him, which respectfully so, but like there's a little bit of a bright side with the guy. There's bright side. He could be really, really good, but the 5th ranked receiver going second of all the receivers is a tough look. Is a very, very tough look. It's very Lionsy, but it's a tough look.
All right, man. Okay, so man, I'm frustrated. And here's a couple things also, and I will say this again to hopefully lean in his direction for people who just like, man, you're a jerk. And I know there are a lot of people think that, but look, there's wide receiver is a tough position to figure out in the NFL when it comes to the draft. We've seen guys bust all the time who are top wide receivers in college that we've seen, and then all of a sudden they fizzle out. Probably the number one position outside of quarterback where guys fizzle out and don't do well. So he might be the best guy. For all we know, when it's all said and done, man, I hope I'm sitting here and saying, man, I couldn't have been more wrong. And I'll be happy to say that. I'm just saying, as of right now, the time to buy, I keep thinking you bought it the wrong time.
Yeah.
This is since you guys are younger than me, this is like going to the club and grabbing the first girl at 9:30 and going home. Like, what are we doing here? Let's play it out a little bit, see what the night looks like. But they got crazy, and they went and took somebody that, hey, you know what? The resume doesn't match the pick in the draft. It doesn't match it at number 22. And the fact, again, that I keep thinking Jordan Addison's going to be great. You talked about his route running, Mario, about, Keenan Allen and those guys. Keenan Allen's probably the best route runner in the NFL right now. Dude, do you think Keenan Allen's going to say, I'm going to sit there and work with this guy nonstop? I got to worry about myself. Old man Keenan right now is just trying to stay healthy. Number one. Number two is I'm not spending all my free time helping my replacement replace me, sooner.
Yeah.
Guess what? When you say he's a trade guy, I don't know if Keenan's even a trade guy in a year or so. Keenan's old. Keenan's going to be that guy that goes, all right, I'm not playing in the NFL anymore. Someone went down with a blown out knee. There's the Pittsburgh Steelers need somebody and they're offering me money to come finish the season. I have no idea what Keenan's going to be, but he's not, Diggs, where Minnesota had a big trade piece to trade him away. So if I'm Keenan Allen, I'm not exactly sure what happens with, hey, is it his job to make sure this guy has it down? I mean, it's going to be on the wide receivers coach to figure out Quentin Johnston and how soon he can go in. Now, if you're a part of that Charger roster right now, hey, there's a reason you went after him. Guess what, Josh Palmer? You couldn't get the job done. You weren't the guy. Michael Bandy, your guy, couldn't get the job done. Carter couldn't get the job done, who's now on the Raiders. There's a reason you had to go receiver in this point because the other guys that you needed to pick it up when Keenan Allen went down weren't able to do it. I am happy on this point. They went for a receiver.
Yeah.
They didn't go for a cornerback, a tight end, or anything else. Now, look, if they go tight end second.
Oh, Dave froze.
I don't know. What I mean, today, right now, sorry, I'm back. Are you guys more frustrated right now than you were last night? Or are you saying, okay, look, we got one piece out of the way. Now we're going to focus on rounds 2 and 3 today, and they're going to clean this thing up a little bit?
I want to see who they get in the second round because we do need to get a tight end badly in this draft. And there's a lot of good ones left. Does Michael Mayer fall all the way to our pick in the second round? I seriously doubt it, but it could happen. He's already fallen this far. Mario, I want to go back to what you just said about Quentin Johnston. What was the word you used? Was it passive? You said he doesn't really care.
Unselfish.
Unselfish. I don't want that guy. I want receivers that are selfish. Call me Waffle House. I'm open all the time. I want that guy.
Yeah.
Give me the ball. Seriously. I don't want a receiver that's like, oh, it's okay. I'm open, but it's cool. I don't want that guy. I want the guy that's a kind of a jerk. Give me the ball. The Chargers have too many guys on the team that are like that. It's fine. It's okay. We only lost by 7 today. It's no big deal. I don't want those guys. I want the guys, and I don't know if Quinn Johnston's actually like that, but I do want the guys that want the ball and want to make the plays. This is the thing that hurts, okay? Because guys that really do this for their actual jobs and rank these players, NFL.com ranked him as the 11th best receiver. 11th. Okay? They also ranked him as the 13th best at the combine. And that's talking about all of his athletic abilities.
Good Lord.
He was ranked 36th in total athleticism of all receivers. That's not all players. That's all receivers. 36.
Yeah, it's not good.
I could be wrong. I hope I am. The things that I do like about him is that he's big.
You won't be the only one. If you're wrong, all these guys are wrong.
Yeah.
All these guys
The thing I like about him is that he's a big dude, and you can't teach somebody to be bigger. So that's something we have going for him. You're right. He can work on his route running. He can work on extending his arms to catch the ball, make it easier on Justin Herbert. But so far, a guy that had 6 touchdowns for a team that averaged about 7 a game in TCU. I don't know about that. Can we get to the rest of the draft though? Can we talk about some other things?
Well, I got one quick question for you guys about him because I don't have any notes about him in front of me as far as what he did combine. Do either one of you know what his vertical was? Which I've never cared in my life.
Yeah, I have it right here.
What somebody's vertical was. Okay, what is his vertical?
40.5.
That's not bad.
That's good.
Because
I'm literally really good.
Yeah, I'm literally thinking because 6'3", dude. No offense, man. I'm 6'3". I can't go up and get the ball. You know what I mean? That's how I think. Like, Mike Williams is a big dude, and he goes up and he gets the ball and takes it away. 6'3" doesn't seem like, oh man, that's a big advantage right there. Especially when cornerbacks are more and more of them are 6'1" with these crazy long arms. I'm just curious to know, what was his vertical? Can he go up and get the ball?
I think it's going to be a tough one too for him is the situation that the Chargers set him up in. Dude, he has 2 bad games in a row this year or just no-show games. And Zay Flowers or Jordan Addison have one type of game that is front page. That is every podcast intro. Tommy Boy blows it again. Here's you put a lot of pressure on this kid to outplay 2 guys that were ranked ahead of him that did better than him in the combine. Like that, it's setting up for a bad look. It's a high risk, high risk, high reward. I think because if it goes wrong on you, you're literally the guy that missed out on Zay Flowers and Jordan Addison. Like it wasn't a very safe pick. I feel like
that surprises me.
No,
it very much surprises. Yeah, it's not a safe pick at all. It's a crazy hot take. That's an NFL draft pick. Like you went on first take and you just drafted Quentin Johnston. Like it's a risky one. It doesn't make sense.
Okay, so real quick, Josh, before you move on, because we talked about this a lot. About guys who have job security, the head coach and the general manager, right? As the season ended, how long is Tom there for? I used to know Tom personally pretty well, like the guy, root for the guy, but in all honesty, how safe is your job for both those guys? Meaning the head coach and the GM. So you look at the guys that went, afterwards, and you go, okay, what would be the safest pick to keep your job? To say, okay, hey, my first round pick worked out; he wasn't a bust. Dalton Kincaid probably would have been a safe pick for you. Nolan Smith, outside linebacker, Georgia, went to the Eagles, probably would have been safe for you. I mean, those are things that keep your job. I mean, this is one of those where, man, I'm going all in and I'm betting on green.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It was, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's go pay for the hotel. We're going to need a new room.
Yeah, we're going green. I'm not picking. I'm crazy, Tom. I'm not going black or red. I'm going green.
Yeah.
Well, the difference between Quentin Johnston and Jordan Addison and Zay Flowers is he's the number 3. Zay Flowers is the number 1 with the Ravens, and Jordan Addison's the clear number 2 with the Vikings. So they're going to get more opportunities.
They got OBJ too. I mean, and you got a happy quarterback is what I'm saying. He is going to get a ton of. Jordan Addison's going to have a big year as a rookie. Yeah, I think Zay Flowers and Jordan Addison have big years. That's my point. I thought you were pointing out that Jordan Addison would be the focal point. It'd be tough for him to get open. No, I got what you're saying. I'm sorry. And you got Mark Andrews.
I think they're going to get. Yeah, they're going to get a lot of targets. I think Quinn Johnston will too, but he's not a big production type of player. He's not the guy that's going to be 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns. I also want to talk about the draft because there are some really, really surprising things that happened from the get-go. Bryce Young to me was the quarterback that was going to get taken number one. He was expected going into this week that he's going to be the top pick, and he was. But from
Real
there,
quick,
things got a little bit crazy.
Hold on, Josh and Mario. I gotta ask you guys because he did it on the last show.
The anticipation's killing me.
I know he keeps
What
freezing.
is he
dude.
gonna
What
say
Wi-Fi is he
next?
on?
All right, but whatever you were saying with the draft, what were you saying? So you like Bryce Young? Were you surprised at all that Anthony Richardson went 4?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
Anthony Richardson going.
I'm not
I
that
thought he was
surprised.
You weren't surprised?
I wasn't surprised.
I just didn't see him as a Colt. Like I didn't think the Colts were going to go in that direction.
It came from a moment
Yeah.
when like it felt like I don't know, it was like one of those things where like, you know how there's a switch. Like I got hammered on. I thought Will Anderson was going number 2. I was told by a friend that I thought was this a good source that Will Anderson was going 2, and then biggest joke of all time on me. That boom, Will Anderson doesn't go 2, and we can talk about the Texans in a second of what they did. But it just kind of felt at the moment I leaned up to the draft, I just pointed more and more to the Colts. My roommates showed me a clip of Chris Bauer going, I think we got the best guy in the draft. And when he's saying that, I feel like that points a lot towards, film, but also that points towards, I think, combine. And like Anthony Richardson's just Mr. Combine. He's Mr. Pro Day. I mean, God, that guy's a freaking freak. So like when you have that mixed into it, I was like, dude, I think he's going to be a Colt. I think he's going to look a little good in the blue and white and the horseshoe.
Do you think he plays day one? Do you think he's the type of guy that plays day one? Or is he?
I think he plays. I think he plays day one, and I think he's gonna have a Justin Fields type of season in terms of he's gonna run the hell out of the ball, and we're gonna see plays of where like he's just running everywhere, and he runs for like a 70-yard touchdown, and he breaks some record that Fields set or Lamar set or Vic set, and you're like, holy hell, this guy's a freak athlete, and then he's gonna make throws where you're like, dude, what was that? Like Gardner Minshew just run the throw plays and him do the run. He's gonna have one of those type of situations, and he doesn't have the best receiving core to throw to. I know people love Pittman, but Pittman's not like I don't think Pittman's a receiver 1. I think he's a receiver 2, acting like he's a receiver 1. So
I agree.
I think so he's gonna have some throws and have some plays where you're like, oh my god, I'm taking back. And then there's gonna be other times where I'm like, dude, this guy, it looks a little tough. So he's going to have a Justin Fields type of season. And welcome back, Dave. We were talking to Anthony Richardson and the Colts. And what were you going to say?
My question for you as I got taken out by, I think, Tom Telesco and the Chargers. Not happy with what I said. Literally pulled the plug. When Will Levis wasn't drafted 1, was a part of you guys that was like, good. Reddit and Will and all that stuff, that story that came out.
First person I thought of when Will Levis wasn't drafted in the first round, Mario. Because I know Mario heard things. I know Mario's not the only person that heard those things. And if I was drafting and I heard those things, guess what, buddy? I'm going in a different direction.
Yeah. I do feel bad. This brought up a good debate that we had, by the way, earlier of if you would go in the draft room. And he was the prime example of maybe not going into the draft room. Which, in his position, I imagine his agent's like, dude, you at the least you go 15 or like 14, like you're good. And like that dropping down, I mean, I hope he had the best tequila, vodka, whiskey in the world. I would be pounding that kid for that.
What are you saying? Look, here's the deal, man. I wasn't rooting for Will Levis not to go in the first round, but I was hoping he wasn't going to be the number 1 guy. I just thought the story was really weird when it came out. But like, if you're him and the cameras are on you and you're the talk, what do you even say to the girl that's next to you? Like, what are you saying? I mean, dude, she spent a ton of money, man, on her hair, her makeup, and her dress, and she's telling all her friends, "Watch this," and then they're just sitting there looking like the sad couple at the dance.
Yeah, did she bring a day 2 dress? She only had a day 1 dress, right?
Dude, how great would it be if she's not there today? If she's not there.
Yeah,
she left with Anthony Richardson. Yeah. No. Yeah. You'd think if she's not there, you're going to do it. She left with the quarterback that actually did get drafted.
Dude, that's happened before. Christian Wood tells a story about how he went undrafted and his girlfriend broke up with him, never spoke to him again. Yeah, for the basketball player.
God, screw her.
Dude, at least Will Levis's dad didn't grab her ass like Lucas Van Ness. You see that?
That was crazy.
No.
That was crazy. That was crazy.
Jeez.
Yeah. Lucas Van Ness's dad grabbed Lucas's girl's ass or slapped her ass when he got drafted. It made me very uncomfortable. Very
That's
uncomfortable.
really weird. That's really
Change
really
the channel,
weird.
change it right back immediately. But
Yeah. That's really uncomfortable.
yeah, one of the
That's
many
how Iowa
surprising
roll.
things of the night. Yeah, that's how
Yeah.
they roll in that household. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
God's
Just act like you're the
I'm
third
gonna-
base coach. Good hit. Yeah. Holy mackerel.
yeah, she was rounding third base in a weird way.
He was trying to round third base.
Yeah, he's trying to round third base. Obviously, Alabama fan here. Jahmyr Gibbs getting drafted at 12. Wild. Absolutely nobody had that on their board. The Lions, what are you doing? Talking about teams that could have traded back. The 2 picks they have, they could have traded back to the second round and probably would have got both of them. If you're the Lions, what are you doing? And is this a Dan Campbell decision? Is this a GM decision? Are they all crazy over there? What do you guys think?
Funny you bring this up. I have a lot of family in Detroit. It's my Lebanese family. They're all up there. If you turn around, if you say Heron, someone will probably turn around and say, "Yeah, I'm related to one of them." They were not happy. Like they were going into this night of the future is so bright. You have so many things ahead of you. You could have added to your D line with Aiden Hutchinson and get him more one-on-one matchups. You could have added to your receiving core because Williams is suspended for 6 games and Jury's still kind of out on what he could be. And you added to 2 positions that are almost like a dying breed in terms of contract money. The running back, which makes no sense because you signed David Montgomery this offseason with DeAndre Swift, who gets hurt a lot, but still. And then you add a linebacker spot where, again, not a position of dying breed. It's not like the go-to position anymore. The Urlacher days, the Ray Lewis days are kind of over now. It's just not it. It's just not it. And you did both of those things. And it just truly makes no sense when you could have improved at QB, you could have improved at corner, you could have improved at receiver, and you chose the 2 positions that couldn't matter less. 2 positions that are easily replaceable by players in the later rounds. That's what you went for. I think Gibbs is a hell of a player. I think he's going to be really, really good. And when people are like loaded running back room, it's like sick. This is at 1997. Have fun doing that. Like, congratulations. I'm going to pack the box and just live with Jared Goff trying to pass all day.
Oh my God, man. The Lions are the Lions for a reason. I mean, it's a good thing we aren't doing the Lions podcast. I mean, how big is the running backs room in Detroit? It's amazing. They have like, am I wrong? Do they have 4 starting running backs right now on that roster?
3.
When no
Williams
3?
dipped.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so here you go. You got 3 starting running backs on a team that's not that good. I mean, yeah, they're on the up and coming, but dude, you have to fill the missing pieces. You just drafted a linebacker a year ago in the first round. You get another running back after you just said they went and signed a free agent running back. Gibbs, to me, and we talked about the dangers of drafting somebody in the first round as it's a running back because of that second contract. He's a great player, but I thought he'd be a steal like in the second round. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the fact that he goes number 12 overall is nuts. The Lions are like that crazy old cat lady. Instead of cats, they just collect running backs. They don't know what the hell they're doing. It's so bizarre. For people in San Diego, the Lions are the Padres. They just keep getting shortstops. Just like, how many shortstops do you need? But the Lions just keep grabbing running backs. It's bizarre. It's really, really, really strange on what they're doing and what they think is the missing piece to make a run at a Super Bowl.
They got 3 starting running backs on their team. They should run the wishbone formation.
That's what I was about to say. Bring
Yeah.
the wishbone back.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Crazy. And the Eagles, right? The team that just made the Super Bowl probably had the best draft.
Dude,
got-
couldn't agree
yeah,
more.
Yeah.
Oh my
The
God.
Eagles were great. They got 2 guys from Georgia on the same D line that are both studs. It's like they call them the Georgia Beagles or the Philadelphia Beagles because it's all those Georgia players on the team. It's insane over there. Also, I've never seen this before. Tell me if I'm wrong. 4 guys that were at the draft didn't get drafted last night. 4 attendees. Have you guys ever seen that?
Who are the 4?
I don't even know. I was looking at Levis all night.
Yeah. Well, it's Will Levis, Joey Porter Jr.,
That's
Keon
amazing.
White, defensive end, Georgia Tech, and Brian Branch from Alabama.
Yeah.
4 guys. I've
If I
never
was
seen
Branch,
that.
Branch
if you're
was
Branch,
one of the worst
I wouldn't have gone. Yeah, I wouldn't have gone if I was
Yeah.
Branch. I wouldn't have gone.
What was he thinking? Yeah, the Porter and Levis and White, like that's surprises. Like they were almost every mock draft they're taking the first round. Branch, your agent's not the brightest guy. Or if you just wanted to go to celebrate and have a little fun over there. I mean, it was in Kansas City. I take that back. You're having no fun in Kansas City. I know I would avoid that plane trip so bad. I'd rather do I'd rather go to Gary, Indiana and hang out for a night than do a night in Kansas City. So I get that one. The Jalen Carter thing, because I saw some of this. I want to mention this real quick because this has something to do with the Bears. I wanted to mention it for everyone that thinks they're idiots for passing up on Jalen Carter. I want to say this really quickly. Jalen Carter will be really, really good on the Eagles. Jalen Carter would have been good on the Bears.
You think
He
so?
needs, yes, absolutely. Jalen Carter is exceptional talent, probably the best talent in the draft, but it was said all over the place. He needs a strong leadership. He needs a strong D-end room. Dude, he's going to get that in Philly. There's so many strong old head veterans in that D-line room that can mentor him, that make sure he stays on track. Chicago, there's none. He would have let it. And my God, that would have gone bad. So that's one thing I want to get off my chest. People like they gave up on Carter. No, I think it was a smart move. Carter's amazing, but his attitude needs to be helped by veterans. Chicago doesn't have the veterans. Not even close. What, Eddie Jackson's going to take him under his wing from safety? That's just not going to work. He needs Hassan Reddick. He's going to need Ingram that are going to be able to keep him on track and keep him developing in the NFL. Plus, old teammates. I mean, half the room's from Georgia in there. I think it's more familiar to him. That'll be better for him than anything he would have been able to do in Chicago.
Look at the Eagles real quick. Man, what a week for the Eagles, right? You lock up your franchise quarterback. You get Jalen Carter at 9, who many people, before everything came out, was the number 1 overall pick. And then you end up with Nolan Smith, outside linebacker, at 31, who a lot of people had going in the top 15. And you're just going, what the hell, dude? It's amazing that some teams are like the Lions and the Colts, and some teams are like the Eagles. It's amazing. Like some teams just fall up, and the Eagles, man, just had such an amazing week. Even if the Eagles didn't have another pick the rest of the draft, the Eagles are in great shape. Unbelievable.
Couldn't agree more. Do you guys have a prediction for who the Chargers take in the second round here?
I have a couple, but go ahead, Dave.
You know what? I said Luke Musgrave was my guy, was the tight end that I had, before. I'll stay with that. I'd be fine if it was Branch. I'd be fine if it was one of these guys that falls. I don't know why Joey Porter Jr. is falling. All those seem strange when you see some of the big names. No one in particular. It's hard to figure out what Tom's going to do. I'll stay with the tight end.
I'm gonna go Keon White from Georgia Tech is my pick. I think he could fall. What do you think, Mario?
God, this one, it's gonna be so. I'm looking at the order right now. This site
Washington. Say it.
I want Darnell Washington so bad. Darnell's my first option. If Darnell's on the board, you have to take him. For the love of God, take him. He's a beast, dude. He's a beast. This one has him going at 40 because they're at 54 right now. Maybe we could trade up a little bit and get one of these guys. So this one has DJ Turner cornerback, but for me, it's Darnell Washington or nothing. If you're gonna get corner, I want Ringo from Georgia. I'm gonna die on this hill that Ringo is gonna be one of the best corners out of this draft. I'm gonna die on that hill. I'm ready to die. I'm ready to go for it. So like Ringo, I want Washington.
Nice.
If Washington's not off the board and they're gonna go corner, then give me Ringo, and I'm ready to go. So those are the two that I want. If they trade up, they trade up. Michael Mayer, gentlemen, still on the board, but I don't think by the time 54 hits, I doubt he's still on the board. A little bit surprising that he's still on the board, but I doubt by 54 that he's still up there.
All right, question for you. Will Levis. Okay, that's going to be a story today. All right, I'm looking.
I love this Will Levis stuff.
I do too. Because you try and play the quarterback game of going, okay, what team needs a quarterback, right? Like when the Saints pick was there, you're like, if the Saints don't take him, no one's taking Levis tonight. And that you kind of do the math. So I'm going to start throwing teams out. Well, tell me where Levis is taken, guys, in this draft. Okay. So the Steelers, Cardinals,
No.
These are no's. Lions.
This site has Lions taking Levis. I want to be surprised.
I can see that.
Okay, so for me, he's not going to the Colts after that. The Rams wouldn't surprise me, and Seattle has the 6th pick. Raiders have the 7th pick. So I mean, he's going somewhere at the
Raiders.
beginning of the 2nd round, right? He's going somewhere in the beginning
Raiders.
of the 2nd round. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not.
He seems like a
that
Raider.
long.
Someone could
Dude,
trade
I
up.
would. Yeah, they totally could. I would love to see RG3 Kirk Cousins situation where you draft 2 quarterbacks and you're like, whatever happens, happens. One of them's going to work out.
That'd be
sick, dude.
Irsay.
If the Colt,
That'd be
yes,
Irsay.
dude.
Yeah.
If the
Yeah, that
Colts
would be
went
Irsay.
Richardson and Levis, light the world on fire. I'm here for it. I want to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ballard wanted Richardson.
The Cowboys did
Irsay
that
wanted
too.
Levis.
The Cowboys did that. They did Troy Aikman and Steve Walsh in the same draft.
I love
Yes,
it. Do you guys not like that? You're going to get one of them. You're probably going to get one of them. And you can just trade the other one.
It takes
I
a
like
while,
it,
though.
dude. It takes a
The
while.
old
but you
saying
have
in the
nothing.
NFL: you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Anthony
Okay.
Richardson's a coin flip.
He
So
is,
is
but they
Levis.
drafted him early. When you draft
Those-
someone that early and give him that kind of money, you gotta be. He has to be the guy.
RG3. When was RG3 drafted? 2nd overall?
Yeah, he was the guy until he they just
I'm just
ran him
saying.
into the ground.
And Kirk was better.
Dude,
Yeah,
but like
he's still playing.
I wouldn't want the
Yeah.
QB competition the whole time. And then one bad game because rookies have bad games, and then one rookie has a bad game, and then it's like every sports radio host. It's like, okay, put in Levis now, put in Levis now, put in Levis. He has one good possession. That's it. That's season 1. Then he has a bad game. And then next scene, like you're just doing that again. Just push pull.
Trade him off. Trade him off.
I
Let's get some picks.
tell you, I fell out of the show for a second, but I don't know if you guys brought this up. I was a huge fan of what the Texans did, by the way. I thought that what the
We did not
Texans
mention
was great. I mean, here's the deal: if
Can
you're
we
a
talk
Texans
about this?
fan and you had to deal with the whole thing with, you lose your star players, JJ Watt's gone, Hopkins is gone, Sean Watson's gone, and the organization's complete embarrassment. And then you go, okay, here we go. We might not win right away, but we're going to get our franchise quarterback and we're going to get the #1 defensive player and we're going to trade up. Now, there's so many. This frustrates me. Look, man, we're football fans. We aren't former GMs. Former GMs who are unemployed, going on television, ripping the hell out of other GMs kind of frustrates me. Like, dude, that guy has a job. You don't have a job. Don't tell me they overpaid. So the Texans went in and you satisfied both your offensive coordinator and your defensive coordinator, and your coach is a defensive coach. So, man, you and for the fan base, you're going, dude, we're ready to go buy season tickets again. I'm getting my Will Anderson jersey. I'm getting my CJ Stroud jersey. We're back. This conference isn't that tough. We're going to be okay. I thought what the Texans did was very smart, and I love teams that are aggressive and saying we're going for it. We're going to try and fix this as soon as possible.
The Texans gave up a lot for Will Anderson, but they believe
ton.
that he is. Yeah, they believe that he's that guy. How many times in a draft do you draft your offensive captain and your defensive captain in the same draft? That never happens. And I think that's what the Texans did with Will Anderson, who was a captain from day 1 at Alabama. He's the only true freshman starter Nick Saban has ever had at linebacker. Guy's an absolute freak. You don't have to be an Alabama fan to know that the guy's a freak. The thing I could not understand for anybody saying it was Will Anderson is not a double-digit sack player, and he's not an immediate impact guy. What are you watching? Do you watch any college football whatsoever? He was getting triple teamed every single play from sophomore year on. What do you mean he's not a double-digit sack guy? He had like 50 tackles for loss in college, and you're going to say he's not a double-digit sack guy? He lives in the backfield. So people that are saying Will Anderson is not a perennial Pro Bowl player, they gave up too much.
They don't know.
Could be wrong, but they don't know what they're. I just don't think they know what they're talking about.
Look at Will
Nick
Anderson's
Saban. Nick Saban will
numbers.
say, "Yeah, closest thing to Derek Brooks."
Look at Will Anderson.
I mean,
Derek Thomas. Look at
Thomas,
Will Anderson's sophomore year numbers compared to Aiden Hutchinson's last year at Michigan. And people are happy with Aiden Hutchinson. Yeah, Will Anderson's numbers blow him out of the water.
Yeah, I agree. If you think they give up too much, I think you're stupid. That's your future right there. It would have been better, I think, strategically and a better plan if they took Will Anderson at 2 and then CJ Stroud at 3. I think that would have been smarter for him. Just maybe made people some money. That would have been cool instead of losing some money.
You don't think that was an ego thing, though? Keep the quarterback happy. That's why they went in that order.
I think it was so they didn't have more competition to trade up to 3. Because if they would have drafted Will at 2, Cardinals would have gotten a lot more calls to trade up to 3, and they could have had more competition to get a deal done.
Yeah. I
So,
I don't know, man. Again, you
hell of
talk
a
about
move.
everything they traded away, Josh, and people say they traded away too much. I mean, okay, well, what would it be later on? What do those picks turn into? Everything else. I'm looking at the Lions again right now in front of my face, and I'm going. Jack Campbell went 18. I mean, Jack Campbell. You're going to put Jack Campbell in the same category as some of these other linebackers from Iowa? I mean, is he related to the head coach? Because it doesn't make none of that stuff makes any sense to me. I mean, you got to go star power. Will Anderson star power.
Yeah. Just a update as you say, Lions. I got a text from my cousin during mid show at 10:36 a.m. Another brutal day to be a Lions fan.
Yeah.
So not a good
Yeah.
day to be a Lions fan. So if your life
Most days
sucks
aren't.
and you're yeah. So if you're feeling a little down today, thinking life sucks, I lost money on Will Anderson going number 2. Just think, I could be a Lions fan.
Did you bet the draft at all?
Yeah,
Did you
I
do
bet
it?
that one, Dave. I didn't mention it like
I
4 times.
got that. I figured that part out. But did you bet
Yeah.
the draft outside of that one? Like, were you
No.
sitting there trying to make picks? I know you didn't
I've
do
only-
first pick.
No, I've only bet 2 things on the draft my whole life. 3 things. I bet Jamari Parker would go number 1 in the NBA draft last year. Thanks, Paul Bencaro. And I bet Patrick Williams to go 4th to the Bulls in 2000. I think that was 2020. That hit. And I was pumped. And then I bet this one. Because I had a friend that just don't listen to friends. That's just the reality of the situation I'm saying right here. Is don't listen to friends. That's my life advice for today.
Yep. Couldn't agree
I
more.
almost said something really personal about the friend too, but I can't.
Dude, Josh and I just wanted to see you eat ice cream. That's all we were hoping for. That there was going to fall. That we'd just see you eat a box of ice cream sandwiches.
not over.
With you being lactose.
It's not over.
How is it not?
They get a Notre Dame.
They could.
If they get a Notre Dame player anywhere in the draft, you have to eat ice cream. Come on.
I mean, that's fine. I don't think there's any other player
We have to-
targeting for Notre Dame.
You have to be food poisoned right here
That would've been-
on camera.
That would have been fun to explain to Baldy.
Yeah.
You should've.
I need to go to the bathroom now. I can't.
Just bring like a milkshake out of my ass. And just
Oh my gosh.
drink it right away.
All right, so we all anticipate day 1 in the draft, and we obviously all of us were paying attention. Day 2 of the draft, what kind of excitement factors it for you, and do you guys pay attention the same way you did on day 1?
Day 1 of the draft is a holiday for me. I absolutely love day 1 of the draft. There's so much drama. Day 2 gets taken down a notch, but I'm going to be watching the entire time. So I'm 80% as hyped as I was yesterday, I'd say.
Yeah, and there's NBA on tonight. Big NBA fan, and we have Warriors Kings tonight. By the way, tough one for the West Coast people. Sorry, guys, that's a 5 p.m. start. But since it's that second screen, it's second rounds. I think second and third round are just as important. I think 4th round you start to dwindle away. 5th round you dwindle, and then 6th or 7th, like, good to know, but don't hang your hat on it.
Yeah, no. First round is I'm not doing anything but watching the draft, right?
Yeah.
Second round is, man, I'm about 90% in. Third day of the draft, you're doing Costco runs and maybe looking at your phone every once in a while. That's about it, right? I mean, that's kind of the way it falls, right? Because especially if you're in a relationship, you can't justify putting away all those days for the draft, to anyone. Yeah, you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
7th round. I don't know what we're going to get.
You can't justify day 3.
Yeah. Or you can't justify day 3 in a relationship. And then and anyone who's in a relationship that can not only justify day 3, but can tell the person you're with, hold on, free agent signings are coming up in the next 12 hours. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I got to check. I got to be here to know who the hell they're signing. Yeah.
We're just getting started, sweetheart.
Yeah. Hold on a second. You'll be shocked how many guys in the NFL are undrafted free agents. I got to see the list. Hold on.
Yeah.
Not going anywhere.
Be next Julian Edelman.
Yeah. Jesus. Good luck to you.
That was the first guy I thought of. I was trying to think of something more.
What do they say? Half the guys in the
Undrafted
NFL
guys?
are undrafted guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Who's the best undrafted player in the league right now? Do we have an answer for that?
Sterling Weatherford. He's just a guy.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
No, there's a bunch. There's a bunch.
I know.
There's
There's
like
a
Vandy.
bunch.
You should have the answer on
There
the
has to be
show.
like a Pro Bowler.
There is.
Right?
There is. There are bunches of undrafted guys that are studs.
Keep talking, and I'll get it to you.
Bet you could literally
Yeah,
type in best undrafted player in the NFL.
Well, this just did all time, and now it's Kurt Warner, Antonio Gates, James Harrison, Jason
Austin Eckler.
Peters,
there you go.
Eckler, Jeff
Yeah, I mean,
Saturday, Adam Thielen.
Yeah. Nah,
JC
you can
Jackson.
always-
Chargers have 2 undrafted guys. Justin
Yeah,
Tucker?
JC Jackson, Kenny Moore, Justin Tucker, Alan Lazard. Really?
Tucker's a Hall of Famer.
Tucker is all of
Barrett. Tucker is most points in history. Yeah. Currently, this website has, this is from a year ago, but JC Jackson has the best undrafted player in the NFL.
How about Will Levis's mother talking? You a fan of family members that come out and start talking on behalf of their kids or siblings?
No. What did she say?
So,
She said, "Oh, this is the kind of thing that gets my son going. He's competitive. Congratulations, NFL. Like now you got a storyline. Okay, the NFL is going to be fine without your kid, honey.
yeah, no.
God dang it.
If my mom's doing that, she's given
Yeah.
a script.
Yeah, come down.
Who
she's-
wants that?
Yeah.
The Mahomes family thinks that's ridiculous. Yeah,
I'm telling you right now, if I was a professional athlete and you interviewed my mom on draft day, my mom would bring out a list of every podcaster, writer, TV personality that said anything bad on me. And she goes, "Welcome to my hit list. You have 1 month to hide. I'm going to hunt you down." And like, she'll get dark. That's like, then I'd be like, "Yeah, that's my mother. We'll lock her in her cage. We'll never let her out. Like, sorry." She gets a little protective, you know?
dude. My favorite thing about your mom, Mario, is the story you told when your mom started screaming at a coach in high school, and then
Oh,
she
yeah.
yelled, and she turned at you and said, you come from a good family." And no, Mom, we don't.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
Your mom's like what, 5'1", threatening the coach?
She's
Maybe
so my
less.
mom's 5 foot and 100 pounds soaking wet. And I'll tell you a quick story real quick. I'm sure she'd be fine with this being told. When we were on spring break one time, when I was in high school, my brother they had like a beer pong thing. It was senior year in Mexico, spring break, whatever, all that. And she thought like there's gonna be beer poured in it, and this older gentleman thought it'd be a good idea to pour tequila in it instead of the
Oh, boy.
beer.
Oh,
And
geez.
my mom bolted, grabbed it, threw it down, pointed at the guy, and goes, "I'll have you cut up and in the ocean in the morning if you ever do that ever again." Dude, and this guy was like, "Who the hell are you?" And the guy just walked away. And I was like, "You can't say that. You can't say that. Like, don't do that." Yeah.
Wow.
Holy cow. Yeah.
So that's Mama Heron.
Yeah. I'm a fan, but I'm scared at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. She's intense, but she's a lovely woman. I love my mother.
Yeah. I guess don't overdo that again. Wasn't scary enough.
No, she had to go. Yeah. She had to go straight to the heart.
I don't even know what to say
Oh
about
my,
that.
g-
Yeah.
oh my
I know.
You will be in
I feel like that's not the only time
Faces
she's ever
of
said
Death.
that too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
That doesn't just come out of your mouth.
Yeah, no, she
Yeah.
said, dude, she's.
You might want to
Lord.
stop.
I have like
before the
4.
cops
Yeah, I was
knock on
gonna
the door.
say. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just stop there.
It's the Italian blood, I guess.
Oh, jeez. Good Lord. Good Lord.
Great way to
I
wrap
thought-
up the draft show.
I thought the story about Joey Bosa's family member working for Al Capone was dark. Jeez. We'll just stop right there. We'll stop right there. All right. So we'll be back with another draft recap show in the near future about what did Tom do, of course, and the Chargers do the rest of the draft. And we'll have that list of free agents, I guarantee you. Again, for Josh Pele, Mario Heron, I'm Dave Pele. Thanks again for listening to the Bolt City Podcast and watching the Bolt City Podcast on YouTube.